The vast chamber of the Galactic Council buzzed with excitement. Representatives from 100 alien races filled the room, their varied forms creating a living tapestry of colors and shapes. At the center stood High Counselor Zixnera, her iridescent scales shimmering under the soft light. "Order! Order in the chamber!" Zixnera's voice boomed, silencing the chatter. "We gather today to discuss a matter of great importance. The humans have finally achieved faster-than-light travel. It is time to decide whether to invite them into our galactic alliance." A ripple of murmurs swept through the crowd. Humans were a curiosity in the galaxy, known for their strange ways and primitive technology. Many races viewed them with a mixture of amusement and pity. Ambassador Krilox of the Zentari stepped forward, his tentacles waving in agitation. "High Counselor, surely you jest. The humans are barely out of their Stone Age. What possible benefit could they bring to our alliance?" Zixnera raised a hand for silence. "We must remember our mandate, Ambassador. All sapient races are to be given a chance to join our ranks. It is not for us to judge their worthiness based on technological advancement alone." From the back of the chamber, a gravelly voice spoke up. It belonged to General Drac of the Korgoth, a warrior race known for their strength and battle prowess. "I have studied these humans. They are soft, weak creatures. In battle, they would be worse than useless. They have no natural armor, no claws, not even decent teeth for fighting. Inviting them would be like asking infants to guard our borders." Laughter echoed through the chamber. The idea of humans as warriors seemed absurd to most of the gathered races. Ambassador Tileri of the Elysians, a race known for their wisdom and diplomacy, floated forward. Her ethereal form pulsed with gentle light as she spoke. "Perhaps, friends, we are looking at this the wrong way. The humans may not be warriors, but they have other qualities. They are curious, adaptable, and show remarkable creativity. These traits could be valuable to our alliance in ways we haven't considered." The chamber fell silent, pondering Tileri's words. Zixnera nodded thoughtfully. "A wise perspective, Ambassador. It is true that strength in the galaxy comes in many forms." Suddenly, the chamber's central holoprojector flickered to life. A three-dimensional image of Earth appeared, slowly rotating. Zixnera gestured towards it. "Behold, the human homeworld, a planet of great diversity, much like its inhabitants. Our scouts report that despite their technological limitations, humans have shown remarkable progress in a short time." The image zoomed in, showing bustling cities, vast farmlands, and intricate transportation networks. Many council members leaned forward, intrigued despite themselves. However, Zixnera continued, her tone growing serious. "Our reports also indicate that humans have a troubling history. Their planet bears the scars of countless conflicts. They wage war against their own kind with alarming frequency." General Drac snorted. "And yet they're terrible at it. Look at their weapons, so crude, so inefficient. They lack even basic energy shields or plasma cannons. It's a wonder they haven't wiped themselves out." Ambassador Krilox's tentacles writhed in agreement. "Exactly. They're a danger to themselves and would be a liability to us. I say we leave them to their own devices. Perhaps in a few thousand years, they'll be worthy of consideration." The chamber erupted in debate. Some sided with Krilox, arguing that humans were too primitive and volatile. Others, swayed by Tileri's words, saw potential in the young race. As the arguments raged, Zixnera raised her hands for silence once more. "Counselors, ambassadors, honored representatives, I have heard your concerns and your hopes. After careful consideration, I propose a compromise." All eyes turned to the High Counselor, waiting for her decision. "We shall extend an invitation to the humans, but not as full members, not yet. Instead, we will offer them protectorate status. A small delegation of humans will be allowed to join us, to learn our ways and prove their worth. In return, we shall provide them with protection and guidance." A chorus of voices rose, some in agreement, others in protest. Zixnera let the noise wash over her for a moment before speaking again, and to address the concerns about their martial inadequacies, we shall assign them to non-combat roles, perhaps in diplomacy, science, or logistics, areas where their unique perspectives might be of use, without putting them in harm's way. Slowly, heads began to nod. Even General Drac grunted in reluctant acceptance. The compromise seemed fair. It would allow the humans a chance to prove themselves while protecting the Alliance from any potential harm. As the council session drew to a close, Zixnera couldn't help but feel a twinge of excitement. Something told her that inviting humans into the galactic community would change everything. For better or worse remained to be seen. Little did the Galactic Council know. Their assumptions about human nature and capabilities were about to be challenged in ways they could never have imagined. The sleek Galactic Alliance ship, Stellar Envoy, glided through space, its destination, Earth. On board, excitement and curiosity filled the air as the alien delegation prepared to make first contact with humanity. Ambassador T. Larry stood at the viewport, her ethereal form shimmering with anticipation. Beside her, General Drac of the Korgath shifted uncomfortably, his massive frame ill at ease in the ship's confined spaces. "I still say this is a waste of time," Drac grumbled. "These humans will bring nothing but trouble." Larry's light pulsed gently. "Patience, General. We must keep an open mind. The universe often surprises us in the most unexpected ways." As Earth grew larger in the viewport, Captain Zorax of the Stellar Envoy approached. "We're receiving a transmission from the human space station," he reported. "They're welcoming us." The alien delegation exchanged surprised looks. They had expected fear or confusion, not a warm welcome. On the space station, a small group of humans waited nervously. Dr. Emily Chen, the lead scientist, straightened her uniform for the 10th time. Beside her, Colonel Jack Harper stood rigid, his military training evident in his posture. "Remember," Emily whispered, "we're representing all of humanity. Let's not mess this up." Jack nodded grimly. "Just hope these aliens are friendly. I don't like going in unarmed." The airlock hissed open, and the alien delegation stepped through. Emily's eyes widened as she took in their diverse forms, from Larry's ethereal glow to Drac's imposing bulk. "Welcome to Earth," Emily said, her voice only slightly shaky. "I'm Dr. Emily Chen, and this is Colonel Jack Harper. We're honored to meet you." Larry floated forward. "Greetings, humans. I am Ambassador Larry of the Elysians. We come on behalf of the Galactic Alliance." As introductions were made, both sides studied each other curiously. The aliens were fascinated by the humans' appearance, so different from any race they'd encountered before. General Drac snorted as he looked at Jack. "This is one of your warriors. He looks as fragile as a Cynthian glass sculpture." Jack's jaw tightened, but Emily quickly intervened. "We may surprise you, General. Humans have many hidden strengths." Over the next few days, the human delegation gave their visitors a tour of the space station. The aliens were impressed by some of the technology, but found much of it quaintly primitive. During a shared meal, Ambassador Krelox's tentacles wriggled in disgust as he watched the humans eat. "You use your mouths for both food consumption and communication. How inefficient." Emily laughed. "We're full of surprises, Ambassador. Efficiency isn't always our strong suit, but we make up for it in other ways." As the visit progressed, the aliens began to relax around their human hosts. They found the humans' curiosity and adaptability intriguing, if somewhat naive. On the final day, Larry addressed the human delegation. "We have come to offer you a place in the Galactic Alliance," she announced. "However, given your current level of development, we propose to offer you protectorate status." Emily and Jack exchanged glances. This wasn't quite the equal partnership they'd hoped for, but it was a start. As part of this arrangement, Larry continued, "We invite a small group of humans to join us on a diplomatic mission. You will have the opportunity to learn from more advanced races and contribute in non-combat roles." Jack frowned. "Non-combat roles? You don't think we can handle ourselves in a fight?" General Drac laughed. a sound like grinding rocks. Little human, our battles are fought with weapons and tactics your kind can't even imagine. We're doing you a favor by keeping you out of harm's way. Emily saw Jack's fists clench and quickly spoke up. We appreciate your concern, General. We'll gladly accept non-combat roles for now. We have much to learn from you all. As the aliens prepared to leave, Larry approached Emily privately. Your kind intrigues me, Dr. Chen. I sense there's more to humans than meets the eye. I look forward to seeing how you surprise us. Emily smiled. Thank you, Ambassador. I have a feeling this is the beginning of an interesting journey for all of us. As the stellar envoy departed, carrying the first human delegates to the stars, neither the aliens nor the humans could have predicted the challenges that lay ahead. The galaxy was about to learn that appearances can be deceiving, especially when it comes to humanity's capacity for warfare. Little did they know, humans were about to teach the Galactic Alliance a lesson they would never forget. 6 months had passed since the first human delegation joined the Galactic Alliance. On board the massive space station Harmony, Dr. Emily Chen and Colonel Jack Harper were still adjusting to life among the stars. Emily sat in the station's grand library, surrounded by holographic displays of alien knowledge. Her eyes sparkled with excitement as she absorbed information about countless civilizations. Across the room, Jack paced restlessly. He had spent weeks observing alien military drills, feeling increasingly frustrated. Emily, he called out, I can't take this anymore. They treat us like children. Emily looked up from her studies. I know it's frustrating, Jack, but we're here to learn, remember? Learn? Jack scoffed. They won't let us near any real training. It's all observed from a safe distance, and don't touch that, human. Their conversation was interrupted by a commotion in the hallway. Alien crew members rushed past, their faces etched with worry. Emily and Jack exchanged glances before following the crowd to the station's command center. There, they found Ambassador Larry and General Drac engaged in a heated discussion. Unprovoked attack, Larry was saying, her usual calm demeanor shaken. The Krelliks have gone mad. Drac growled, his massive fists clenching. Those cowards. They strike at our outer colonies while our fleets are deployed elsewhere. Emily cleared her throat, drawing their attention. What's happening? Larry turned to them, her ethereal form flickering with distress. The Krelliks, a previously peaceful race, have launched a surprise attack on our alliance. They've already overwhelmed 3 of our border outposts. Jack stepped forward, his military training kicking in. What's the plan? How can we help? General Drac let out a bark of laughter. Help? What could you possibly do, human? This is real war, not one of your primitive skirmishes. Before Jack could retort, alarms blared throughout the station. Captain Zorax's voice echoed over the intercom. All hands, battle stations. Krelliks warships detected on approach. The command center erupted into chaos. Alien crew members rushed to their posts, barking orders in a dozen different languages. This is impossible, Larry whispered. Harmony is deep within Allied space. How did they get here? Drac snarled. It doesn't matter how. We must defend the station. He turned to Emily and Jack. You two, get to the safe rooms with the other non-combatants. Jack's eyes narrowed. Like hell, we will. We can fight. This isn't a game, human. Drac growled. Our weapons are beyond your comprehension. You'll only get in the way. Suddenly, the station shook violently. Captain Zorax's voice crackled over the intercom again. Hull breach in sectors 7 through 9. Enemy boarding parties detected. Emily grabbed Jack's arm. This is our chance. Let's go. Before anyone could stop them, Emily and Jack sprinted out of the command center. They raced through the corridors, dodging panicked aliens and debris from the ongoing attack. What's the plan? Jack shouted as they ran. Emily grinned. We're going to show them what humans can do. Remember those alien weapon schematics I've been studying? They skidded to a halt outside an armory. The door was locked, its alien interface pulsing with warning lights. "Can you open it?" Jack asked. Emily's fingers flew over the holographic controls. "Give me a second." There. The door slid open, revealing racks of advanced weaponry. Jack whistled low. Now this is more like it. They quickly armed themselves, Emily providing rapid-fire instructions on how to use the alien technology. As they finished, the sound of battle grew closer. "Ready?" Jack asked, hefting a sleek rifle that hummed with energy. Emily nodded, her own weapon at the ready. "Let's show the galaxy what humanity can do." They charged out of the armory, heading straight for the sounds of combat. As they rounded a corner, they came face to face with a group of Krellix invaders, insectoid creatures wielding plasma weapons. For a moment, both sides stared at each other in surprise. Then Jack grinned. "Welcome to Harmony. I'm afraid we'll have to cut your visit short." What happened next would become the stuff of legend in the Galactic Alliance. Two humans, armed with weapons they'd never used before, against a squad of battle-hardened Krellix warriors. The battle was about to begin, and the course of the war, and humanity's place in the galaxy, was about to change forever. The corridor erupted into chaos as Jack and Emily engaged the Krellix invaders. Plasma bolts sizzled through the air, leaving scorch marks on the metallic walls. Jack ducked behind a fallen support beam, his alien rifle humming with energy. "Emily, on your left." Emily spun, her weapon discharging a burst of blue energy that sent two Krellix flying. "Got it. These guns pack quite a punch." The Krellix, caught off guard by the humans' unexpected resistance, began to fall back. Their chittering communications sounded confused and alarmed. "They're retreating," Jack shouted, a grin spreading across his face. "Let's push them back." Emily nodded, her scientific mind racing. "Wait, I have an idea. Follow me." They chased the Krellix down the corridor, herding them towards a large cargo bay. As they reached the entrance, Emily tapped furiously at a control panel. "What are you doing?" Jack asked, covering her as she worked. "Changing the gravity settings," Emily replied, her fingers flying. "Just about now." Suddenly, the artificial gravity in the cargo bay reversed. The Krellix, unprepared for the change, were lifted off their feet and slammed into the ceiling. Their weapons, designed for normal gravity, became useless in their disoriented state. Jack stared in amazement. "That's brilliant. How did you know how to do that?" Emily grinned. "I've been studying the station's systems. Figured it might come in handy someday." They quickly secured the trapped Krellix, using emergency force fields to create a makeshift prison on the ceiling. As the last invader was contained, General Drac burst into the cargo bay, followed by a squad of Alliance soldiers. He stopped short, his jaw dropping at the sight before him. "What? How?" the usually eloquent general sputtered. Jack couldn't help but smirk. "Just a little human ingenuity, General. Nothing special." Before Drac could respond, Captain Zorax's voice came over the intercom. "All hands, braced for impact. Enemy flagship approaching." The station shuddered as a massive Krellix warship came into view through the cargo bay's windows. Its weapon systems glowed ominously, preparing to fire. "We need to take out that ship," Drac growled, "but our main weapons are offline." Emily's eyes lit up. "The cargo launchers. We can use them to fire explosives at the warship." Drac looked at her skeptically. "That's insane. The launchers aren't designed for combat." "Maybe not," Jack chimed in, catching on to Emily's plan. "But sometimes the best weapon is the one the enemy doesn't expect." Despite his doubts, Drac had seen enough of human capabilities to give them a chance. "Fine. What do you need?" The next few minutes were a flurry of activity. Emily reprogrammed the cargo launchers while Jack and the Alliance soldiers loaded them with highly volatile fuel cells. "Ready," Emily shouted as the Krellix warship moved into position. Jack took control of the targeting system, his years of military training coming into play. Firing in 3, 2, 1, now. The cargo bay doors opened, and dozens of fuel cells shot towards the Krellick ship. The enemy, expecting conventional weapons, was caught completely off guard. The fuel cells impacted the warship's hull, creating a series of explosions that ripped through its defenses. Within moments, the massive vessel began to list, secondary explosions blooming across its surface. "It's working," Emily cheered. "Their systems are failing." The Krellick's warship, its hull breached in multiple places, began to retreat. Other enemy vessels, seeing their flagship in distress, quickly followed suit. As the last Krellick ship disappeared from view, a cheer went up throughout Harmony Station. They had won against impossible odds. General Drac turned to Jack and Emily, his expression a mix of disbelief and grudging respect. "I may have underestimated you humans." Ambassador Larry floated into the cargo bay, her ethereal form glowing brightly. "It seems we all have. You've saved not just this station, but perhaps the entire Alliance." Jack and Emily exchanged tired but triumphant smiles. They had proven that humans were far more capable than anyone had given them credit for. As the excitement died down and the cleanup began, Larry approached the two humans. "The Alliance Council will want a full report on this incident. Your actions today may well change the course of this war and humanity's place in the galaxy." Little did they know, this was just the beginning. The Krellick's war was far from over, and humanity was about to show the galaxy what they were truly capable of when pushed to their limits. The days following the Krellick's attack on Harmony Station were a whirlwind of activity. News of the humans' unexpected heroics spread rapidly through the Galactic Alliance, sparking intense debate and curiosity about the species they had so quickly dismissed. In the station's main conference room, Jack and Emily stood before the hastily assembled Alliance War Council. The room was packed with representatives from various alien races, all eager to hear from the humans who had turned the tide of battle. High Counselor Zixnera, who had traveled from the Alliance capital, addressed the room. "We are here to discuss the recent Krellick's attack and the surprising role our human allies played in repelling it." Emily stepped forward, her voice steady despite her nerves. "Thank you, High Counselor. We're prepared to share our full report on the incident." As Emily and Jack recounted the events of the battle, murmurs of disbelief and admiration rippled through the audience. The aliens were particularly impressed by the creative use of the cargo launchers and the gravity manipulation tactic. General Drac, who had witnessed the humans in action, added his own testimony. "I must admit, I had severely underestimated the humans' potential. Their unconventional thinking and adaptability in combat are remarkable." Ambassador Larry floated forward, her ethereal form pulsing with excitement. "This incident proves what I've suspected all along. Humans possess unique qualities that could be invaluable to the Alliance, especially in our war against the Krellicks." Not everyone was convinced, however. Ambassador Krelox's tentacles writhed skeptically. One lucky victory doesn't change the fact that humans are technologically inferior. How can we trust them with our advanced weaponry and tactics? Jack bristled at the comment, but Emily placed a calming hand on his arm before addressing the council. "With all due respect, Ambassador, it wasn't luck. Humans have a long history of warfare, which has taught us to be resourceful and think outside the box. We may not have your advanced technology, but we have something just as valuable: creativity and the ability to adapt quickly to new situations." The room fell silent as the aliens pondered her words. High Counselor Zixnera finally spoke, her voice thoughtful. "Perhaps it's time we reevaluated our approach to this war. The Krellicks have been winning because their tactics are unpredictable to us, but it seems humans excel at unpredictability." A holographic display flickered to life in the center of the room, showing a map of Alliance space. Red markers indicated areas where the Krellicks had gained ground. "We've lost too much territory already," Zixnera continued. "We need a new strategy, one that the Krellicks won't expect." I propose we form a special task force, with humans at its core, to strike back at the enemy." The suggestion caused an uproar. Some council members voiced their support, while others protested vehemently. Amidst the chaos, Captain Zorax, who had been quietly observing, stepped forward. "If I may, High Counselor, I've seen firsthand what these humans can do. I volunteer my ship and crew to work with them. Let us prove the value of this idea in battle." Zixnara nodded, her scales shimmering as she made her decision. "Very well. Captain Zorax, you will lead this task force. Colonel Harper, Dr. Chen, you will join his crew as tactical advisors. Your mission will be to strike at key Krellix positions, using human ingenuity combined with our technology." Jack and Emily exchanged excited glances. This was more than they could have hoped for. A chance to truly prove humanity's worth to the galaxy. As the council meeting adjourned, aliens crowded around Jack and Emily, peppered them with questions about human warfare and tactics. The atmosphere had shifted dramatically from the condescension they had experienced before. Later, as they prepared for their new assignment, Emily turned to Jack with a grin. "Well, looks like we're going to war, soldier, ready to show the galaxy what humanity can really do." Jack chuckled, checking the alien rifle he had become fond of. "Born ready, Doc. Those Krellix won't know what hit them." As they boarded Captain Zorax's ship, neither of them could have predicted the challenges that lay ahead. The Galactic Alliance was about to witness a style of warfare unlike anything they had seen before. The legend of humanity's prowess in battle was just beginning to unfold, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The Alliance warship Starblade cut through space, its sleek form disguising the tension that filled its halls. On the bridge, Captain Zorax stood tall, his 4 eyes scanning the star-filled viewscreen. Beside him, Jack and Emily pored over holographic maps of Krellix-controlled space. "Our target is the Krellix supply base on Nexus VII," Zorax announced. "It's heavily defended and considered impenetrable." Jack grinned. "Impenetrable? Huh, sounds like a challenge." Emily nodded, her mind racing with possibilities. What if we approach this not as a frontal assault, but as a heist? The alien crew exchanged confused looks. Zorax tilted his head. "A heist? I'm not familiar with this term." "It's a type of operation where you steal something valuable," Jack explained. "But in this case, we're not just going to steal their supplies. We're going to steal their entire base." The bridge erupted in a chorus of disbelieving voices. Zorax raised a hand for silence. "Explain." Emily pulled up a detailed schematic of the Krellix base. "The base is built into an asteroid. What if, instead of destroying it, we move it?" Over the next hour, Jack and Emily outlined their audacious plan. The alien crew, initially skeptical, began to see the brilliance in its absurdity. No one, especially not the Krellix, would expect such an outlandish strategy. As the Starblade approached Nexus VII, tension mounted. The plan was risky, relying on split-second timing and technology used in ways its creators never intended. "All teams, report in," Zorax commanded. "Engineering ready," came a voice over the comm. "Stealth team in position," reported another. Jack and Emily exchanged a determined look. This was it, the moment to prove that humanity's unconventional thinking could turn the tide of war. "Begin Operation Asteroid Heist," Zorax ordered. The plan unfolded in a series of carefully orchestrated steps. First, a small team led by Jack infiltrated the base using personal cloaking devices, planting disruptors at key points to scramble Krellix communications. Meanwhile, Emily worked with the Starblade's engineers to repurpose the ship's tractor beams. Instead of pulling small objects, they would attempt to move an entire asteroid. As the disruptors activated, chaos erupted within the Krellix base. Confused chitters and alarms blared, audible even through the vacuum of space. "Now," Emily shouted. The Starblade's engines roared to life, straining against the massive gravitational pull of the asteroid. For a heart-stopping moment, nothing happened. Then, slowly, the asteroid began to move. Inside the base, Krellick's soldiers scrambled in panic as their entire world shifted. Jack and his team raced through the corridors, securing key areas and neutralizing resistance. "We've got control of their main computer." Jack's voice crackled over the comm. "Emily, you're not going to believe the intel we found here." On the bridge, Emily allowed herself a small smile. "Great work, Jack. Now let's get you and that asteroid out of here before reinforcements arrive." As if on cue, Krellick's warships began appearing on the long-range scanners. "Multiple hostile ships detected," cried the sensor operator. "They'll be in weapons range in 5 minutes." Zorax turned to Emily, his expression tense. "We're out of time. We need to abandon the asteroid and retreat." But Emily's eyes sparkled with an idea. "No, we use it. Captain, can you position us behind the asteroid, relative to the incoming ships?" Understanding dawned on Zorax's face. "You want to use it as a shield." "And as a weapon," Emily added. The next few minutes were a blur of activity. The Starblade maneuvered into position, using the asteroid as cover. As the Krellick ships approached, Emily gave the order to release the tractor beams. The asteroid, now hurtling through space, caught the Krellick's fleet by surprise. Several ships failed to evade in time, shattering against the massive rock. The remaining vessels, their formation broken, fell into disarray. "Fire all weapons," Zorax commanded. The Starblade unleashed a barrage of energy weapons, cutting through the confused Krellick's fleet. In minutes, it was over. The remaining enemy ships fled, leaving behind a field of debris and a stunned silence on the Starblade's bridge. As the adrenaline of battle faded, the magnitude of what they'd accomplished sank in. They had not only captured a critical enemy base, but had also decimated a superior force using little more than creativity and audacity. Zorax turned to Jack and Emily, his alien features conveying profound respect. "It seems we have much to learn from humans about the art of war." As news of their victory spread throughout the Alliance, the legend of the human warriors grew. The galaxy was beginning to realize that when it came to humans and war, terrible was not the word they should have used. Unpredictable, ingenious, and formidable. Those were far more fitting descriptors for humanity's martial prowess. 6 months had passed since Operation Asteroid Heist, and the tide of the war had shifted dramatically. The Galactic Alliance, once on the defensive, now pressed its advantage against the faltering Krellick's forces. At the forefront of this change were the human-led task forces, their unconventional tactics constantly keeping the enemy off balance. On the Alliance capital world, the Great Hall was filled to capacity. Representatives from every member race had gathered for a historic occasion. At the center of attention stood Jack and Emily, still somewhat uncomfortable with their newfound fame. High Counselor Zixnera raised her hands for silence, her scales shimmering with barely contained excitement. "Esteemed members of the Alliance, we are here today to recognize the extraordinary contributions of our human allies in our war against the Krellicks." A holographic display flickered to life, showing a map of the galaxy. Green areas, representing Alliance-controlled space, had expanded significantly. "In just 6 months," Zixnera continued, "human-led operations have resulted in the reclamation of over 30% of occupied territory. Their innovative strategies have consistently outmaneuvered Krellick's forces, leading to victories that once seemed impossible." Murmurs of approval rippled through the crowd. Even former skeptics like Ambassador Krelox nodded in grudging respect. General Drack stepped forward, his gruff voice filled with uncharacteristic warmth. "When humans first joined our ranks, I thought they were useless in battle. I've never been happier to be proven wrong." The general's words elicited chuckles from the assembly. He continued, "Their ability to think outside conventional norms, to adapt and improvise, has revolutionized our approach to warfare. The Krellicks, once thought unbeatable, now tremble at the mere mention of human involvement in a battle." Emily and Jack exchanged a glance, still somewhat overwhelmed by the praise. They thought back to their latest mission, where they had used a complex series of holographic projections to make a small fleet appear as a massive armada, causing an entire Krellix battle group to surrender without firing a shot. Zixnera's voice brought them back to the present. It is clear that our initial assessment of human capabilities was flawed. Today, we seek to rectify that error. She gestured to Jack and Emily. Step forward, representatives of humanity. As they approached, Zixnera continued. In recognition of your species' invaluable contributions to the Alliance, we hereby elevate humanity's status from probationary members to full partners in the Galactic Alliance. All restrictions on technology sharing and participation in Alliance affairs are henceforth lifted. The hall erupted in applause. Jack and Emily stood in stunned silence, the magnitude of the moment washing over them. Ambassador Teleri floated forward, her ethereal form glowing brightly. Furthermore, we propose the establishment of a new Alliance military academy, with humans taking a lead role in teaching adaptive strategy and unconventional warfare. As the details of the new arrangements were discussed, Emily leaned over to Jack. Can you believe this? A few months ago, they thought we were useless in a fight. Jack grinned. Yeah, for a species that's terrible at war, we sure turned things around. Their conversation was interrupted as various alien representatives approached, eager to discuss future collaborations and learn more about human military history. As the formal proceedings concluded, a small Krellix delegation was escorted into the hall. The insectoid aliens, once fearsome enemies, now looked subdued. The lead Krellix stepped forward, its mandibles clicking nervously. We come to sue for peace. Our forces are in disarray, our strategies ineffective against your human allies. We seek terms for surrender. A hush fell over the hall as the implications sank in. The war that had raged for years was coming to an end, largely thanks to human involvement. As negotiations began, Jack and Emily found a quiet moment alone. Emily looked out at the stars visible through the hall's massive windows. You know, when we first joined the Alliance, I never imagined we'd make this kind of impact. Jack nodded, his expression thoughtful. It just goes to show, you should never underestimate humans. We may not have the most advanced technology or the strongest natural abilities, but we've got something just as powerful. Oh, Emily raised an eyebrow. And what's that? Jack grinned, an endless capacity to surprise. As they rejoined the celebrations, both felt a sense of pride not just in their own accomplishments, but in all of humanity. They had proven to the galaxy that being terrible at war didn't mean what everyone thought it did.